in control. So that you guys can see it in the chat, the brackets have been posted a few times. So we are just making our round of 8 here, and we should actually have a couple of the matches streamed from there as well, just tonight, right after this one. So it is Gretorp getting the southern spawn here on Metalopolis at the 6 o'clock position in the blue Terran, and Kiwikaki getting the 9 o'clock spawn as the the yellow Protoss, of course, spawning on the close air distances here on Metalopolis. This is game 2, Kiwikaki up 1-0 in this best of 3 over Gretorp right now. Gretorp, of course, from Team Fnatic, and Kiwikaki representing Team Root.
Yeah, and Fnatic MSI, so they don't get a little bit cranky. MSI is they're a really big sponsor, and they're a good team. They've got a lot of really good players, including Gretorp. Just Kiwikaki is a monster. He's really good at the macro play. His micro is phenomenal. He always brings unexpected plays to the table, so you're never quite sure what to expect from him. It's always super stressful to play Kiwikaki because you never know what is going to happen. You cannot make any predictions. You can't make assumptions. You just have to scout really well and hope you can stop whatever it is that he has up his sleeve. And if you can't, and he takes a really nice economic advantage, you will not get it back because he's Kiwikaki.
That's totally right. He will capitalize on every mistake you give him for sure. It's going to be interesting to see. The last game I wanted to comment, he's doing it again. Kiwikaki's base build reminds me of a human base build from Warcraft 3, where you create that natural wall on your high ground there with just your buildings. So he'll spread out his pylons. As you can see, the Cybernetic Course now blocking that entry between the 2 gas geysers. He has that really, really strong macro build play as well. Base build, as he is able to defend his base really easily on the high ground, forcing anything into a channel. So we've noticed that the last game he's doing it the same thing here. I expect him to probably put a gateway underneath that northern pylon there and just complete that wall off.
One really important thing is that Kiwikaki's build is extremely aggressive. He's got a super quick cybernetics core here and a ton of energy on his Nexus. We might just see a really aggressive 4-gate from Kiwikaki trying to take a quick win in game number 2, since he did kind of dominate Gretorp in the last one. So we'll see if he's just planning on being super aggressive here, or if he's faking something. With Kiwikaki, like I said, you can never be certain. This could be a mind game. You never know.
Absolutely.
So, Gretorp pokes in. He's going to see a really fast Cybernetics Core. And then he drops a Factory, which is going to be really risky, because normally you drop the Factory if your opponent isn't going to be putting pressure on you. So he does not seem to be aware of the fact that there's possibly a really fast 4-gate on the way. Getting that Factory and possibly a starport up takes a while before you can get the units back for them to pay for themselves. So normally in Terran vs Protoss, Terran players don't drop that Factory unless they're certain that their opponent is not attacking anytime soon. But there's a proxy gate from Kiwikaki. Warp gates are about to finish. He's only got 2 gateways so far, but I still would be super worried, because I've seen Kiwikaki attack a 3-gate with 2 gates and win. And take out a lot of probes anyway, because his micro is just disgusting. So even a 2-gate super quick push here, especially with this Factory and starport on the way, Gretorp just doesn't have any units here. He's got 2 Marauders, 2 Marines. He's trying to drop a bunker, but here comes the first push by Kiwikaki. 4 Stalkers. He might be able to just break this and take a super quick win. This bunker isn't even half done yet. Oh my god, having to pull a lot of SCVs. This is not a really good place to engage for Kiwikaki because he can't really micro. He does manage to cycle that Stalker out, but he forced him to pull a lot of SCVs, so even if he pulls back from here...
both Marauders too.
Oh my god.
Wow,
he took out all the Marauders. Just Kiwikaki is so scary.
Yeah, and he's reinforcing just now with another Stalker, another Zealot. Bunker is finished on the high ground. That will give Gretorp a little bit of a defensive position, but that bunker is looking to get sniped here as the SCVs just make it over to maintain it. The Mule greatly out there, so this is going to get Kiwikaki a good chance at sniping a Mule and another SCV as another Marauder gets out. Gretorp, as you mentioned, in a really, really tough position. He does have a Banshee on the way. But it's going to be maybe a little too late as Kiwikaki looking to keep the pressure up here as he is still reinforcing from that center pylon, only on 2 gates, as you mentioned. You can make a lot happen with 2 gateways, as Kiwikaki's really showing us here, from just there's a constant pokes up and down on the high ground.
Yeah, so we've got a really aggressive 2 gateway while expanding, and he keeps forcing Gretorp to pull off so many SCVs. He keeps killing SCVs. Nice force field that will allow him to kill this bunker in just a couple more shots. Oh no! One stalker dies just in time. He did not have enough for another force field. He almost took down that bunker. That was super close. Gretorp is in such a really bad position. He's got that Banshee out. He's going for Cloak. And Kiwikaki is getting that robotics facility. He looks like he probably will be able to get an observer out in time. It's going to be very close. If he can chrono boost that immediately, he'll be able to get an observer out. He will lose some probes, but he might still be able to keep his advantage. Kiwikaki pulling all of his units back to defend against this Banshee. But if he can keep this Banshee out without taking really any damage, he's going to be so far ahead that there's not much that Gretorp can do. Like, he is he's putting all of his hopes on the shoulder of this Banshee right now.
Yeah, Cloak Banshees. There's Gretorp, a second Banshee joins the main right now. And it's just getting pummeled here as Cloak does finish. Chrono Boosted Observer is about 30 seconds away, so Gretorp's got this free run here with 2 Banshees. Just going to try to pick off as much as he can, but yeah, as you mentioned, this is kind of an all-in, as there's not really much else other than Banshees coming out for Gretorp. He is trying to recover with Barracks, as those Banshees are just doing pretty good damage. But just great probe movement from Kiwikaki, forced to stop mining, but has stopped the probe losses at just a handful of probes, only 5, I believe, between all of them. So it looks like Kiwikaki is going to be able to repel the Banshees, as one of them is decloaked, and the Observer should be out there any second. Interesting, a Hellion was trained on the low ground there from that Manor factory, as another Banshee joins in. There's 3 Banshees on the field for Gretorp. He's doing a great job of keeping them alive, though, while keeping Kiwikaki on the run, so...
Gretorp left that Banshee cloaked while it was sitting outside of the base, so it's completely out of energy. A bit of a blunder there from Gretorp, so he's not going to be able to push back in because he just does not have the energy to cloak back up. And I mean, look at the worker count. Even though he put so much pressure onto Kiwikaki, he didn't do a ton of damage. Kiwikaki's still ahead by quite a few workers. Gretorp's got these Banshees out, and now he's not entirely sure what he can do with them. The Observer's out, so he's going for a Raven. If he could get a Viking out, maybe try and snipe that Observer, he could possibly do a bunch of damage. But it's going to be a while before he has the energy on those Banshees to come back in with Cloak and harass Kiwikaki again.
I think that's the idea now is point defense drone, actually. Yeah, to try to get try to focus the Stalker Fire into a specific point. Use a point defense drone, and just the uncloaked Banshees with your Marauder Ball. And if you can get him into a good position here on the low ground, as you mentioned, Kiwikaki is only on 2 gateways right now and frantically trying to get his other gateways up. His production is very halted, so this point defense drone here is going to be the critical turning point as Gretorp's setting up to get that just as 100 energy gets onto the Raven.
Here comes all the SCVs from Gretorp. He realizes that he needs to do a lot with this attack. That's probably a good decision from him. So here comes the point defense drone. It's out of energy already. He needs to focus fire those Banshees. Here comes the probes from Kiwikaki as well. This is the big deciding battle. Gretorp pushing back Kiwikaki for now. One of the observers is down. Did the second one fall as well? I don't see it. Oh, he might have killed both observers. No, the second one is flying up to join the battle, and that will be enough to kill those Banshees if he can turn around and shoot them. But Kiwikaki does not have a ton of units. He needs to get these Banshees out of here. And if he can, he might be able to deal with these Marauders. Gretorp dedicated so many units here, but it looks like he might just barely be able to pull this off, as there's just a couple of Stalkers left here from Kiwikaki. Really razor's edge here play by Gretorp. But he might lose these units. Nice flank with the probes. Oh, trapping the Marauders in
there. Great job on the probes. It's going to cost a few probes from Kiwikaki, but definitely more SCVs lost to the Gretorp camp there, as Gretorp's attack is repelled. Honestly, what he's going to do next, I don't know. That was pretty much the the transition form. Gretorp cleans up the high ground there of Kiwikaki, but Kiwikaki able to reinforce on his low ground. Looks like Gretorp's going to keep the pressure on, actually. This is being spotted by an observer. One further Banshee, just started right now. Strictly gateway units, so Gretorp's going to keep trying to push this. Just going to try to cut into Kiwikaki as much as he can. Great defense there from Kiwikaki. Loses a couple of probes there, just in a little bit of a miss micro. Nexus taking pretty good damage here, actually, from Gretorp, as he does snipe a sentry as well. A couple more probes are falling. Kiwikaki falling a little bit behind here, as Gretorp's pressure is doing really well with his shoot and scoot. Does lose one Marauder against the shields and is going to retreat, and those guys are at really, really low health, so Gretorp's going to probably need to get a medevac or something on the field pretty shortly if he wants to keep using or keep recycling these units.
Yeah, and he does have that starport, but he was just making a Banshee, and that's going to pop out and fly up into the mineral line. This Banshee's going to do a ton of damage because the Observer's out of position, so is Kiwikaki's army. This late switch back into a Banshee by Gretorp is going to do a ton. He is forced to pull all of his workers, and that's actually going to put Gretorp back ahead in the economic game for the first time. This game, he pulls ahead, but he loses all of those Marauders. The last two are down with just a sliver of health, 3 health remaining, but he's not able to chase that away. He does need to protect his probes. So this game is just so close. It could still swing in either direction just by, a little margin. One good engagement is going to be enough to bring the game back into favor of either of these players. This is just too close to call. The worker count was dead even. You can see that Kiwikaki is ahead by 2 workers, but of course Gretorp has the mules, so he is ahead economically. And he has a ton of barracks here, just going to be cranking a lot of bio units. Kiwikaki's still only on 4 gateways, even though he has 2 Nexus. He's never really been able to take advantage of this super aggressive Nexus here. And that's going to be really helpful for Gretorp. The Banshee needs to get away.
Just made it out.
Ooh.
Yeah, that was close. Kiwikaki just trying to figure out exactly the same kind of thing. What is he going to do now? As you mentioned, he's pretty much stuck with his robotics with no other additionals to it. Mortal's not going to be super effective here just yet, as the second ball from Gretorp is being pushed out right now. There is a lot in that ball. As you mentioned, the 5 racks from Gretorp going to be very good at reproducing his army versus the 4 gate. So I don't know if Kiwikaki is going to be able to hold this off on open ground here, as the Banshees are getting back into position to harass. Still only 1 observer on the field for Kiwikaki. It's rallied with his army, so it's going to force his army to kind of circle around, as those Banshees again are at the probe line of Kiwikaki. As Kiwi goes to move his base,
and here comes
he's not going to get baited. Here
comes
the
death
ball
from the front. Lots of Marines and Marauders running straight up the ramp, so they cannot get force fielded. Now he's got a good position. Oh, nice force fields by Kiwikaki.
Very good force fields here from Kiwi.
Best force fields you could expect to see in that position, but there's just too much bio here. You can see that the gateway units here from Kiwikaki are melting. Another great force field, doing a great job, but Gretorp's going to be able to kill these gateways. That's probably going to be game. He's just not going to have any more production, since he does not have any more gateways on the low ground. No more sentries for the force fields. Kiwikaki tries to barely hold it off, but as the reinforcements arrive, he does say GG. We're back to tied. That game was so close.
Oh, wow. Yeah, this is definitely Gretorp fighting here. He held into that one, and I thought I was going to count him out a little bit there, but he held on there and really pushed Kiwi back with his with just mass gateway 5 racks production. So
yeah, and
Gretorp doing a huge job there.
It was those Banshees, man. If those Banshees did not work, he was going to be in a ton of trouble, but he was able to just barely do enough damage to stay in that. As you can see, the next couple engagements were so very close, but as he kept flying those Banshees in and attacking from 2 different angles, he was able to continually pull ahead, and Kiwikaki was just not able to stop him from attacking on 2 fronts, and he was able to take that game. So we will see what the map is going to be for game number 3. We're going to go to a commercial real quick while they're doing the map choice. So we'll be right back in just about 30 seconds.